In the dim glow of a single bedside lamp, a child stares at the closet door, convinced something lurks just beyond the crack. It's a fear as old as storytelling itself. But what if that something isn't just imagination? What if the monsters are real, feasting on innocence in broad daylight, and the only ones who can see them are the very kids society dismisses? Well, that's the pulse-pounding premise of Something is Killing the Children, the Eisner Award-winning horror series from James Tynion IV and Werther Dell'Edera that's captivated over 5 million readers worldwide since its 2019 debut. 6 years on, the story is roaring back with a fresh slate of one-shots diving into Erica Slaughter's hidden past, proving this isn't just a comic. It's a phenomenon that scratches at the edges of belief, trauma, and the shadows we all carry. Now, when this book originally was published, I did read the first issue, and I've got to admit the truth here. I dismissed it as another slasher horror comic book. Now, horror comics are always touch and go. They're 50-50. And at that time, I thought, you know what? I don't have time in my life for another throwaway book. But it sort of festered in the back of my mind, and I left it to sort of rot for a little while, and I picked it back up and thought, holy shit, this is one of the best books I've ever read, and definitely one of the best horror comics in decades. And that, girls and boys, ladies and gentlemen, is why I want to share with you Something is Killing the Children. So let's dive in, because this really is a journey worth taking. Now, if you're new to the series or dipping back in after its brief hiatus, buckle up. This isn't your grandfather's Monster Mash. It's a razor-sharp blend of folklore-fueled terror, emotional gut punches, and high-stakes action that feels as intimate as a whispered confession and as explosive as a midnight chase. Whether you're a lifelong horror hound or someone who's always wanted to crack open a comic that hits like a Stephen King novel crossed with The Conjuring, Something is Killing the Children will leave you questioning every rustle in the dark. With that said, let's hunt some monsters. So, it all started in the fall of 2019 when Boom Studios, known for championing bold creator-owned tales like Lumberjanes and Once and Future, unleashed Something is Killing the Children into the world. What was pitched as a taut 5-issue miniseries exploded on impact. Issue 1 sold out before it even reached stores, racing through 4 printings in its first week alone. The demand wasn't hype for hype's sake. It was a collective gut reaction to a story that felt urgent, raw, and utterly original. At the creative core is James Tynion IV, a writer whose resume reads like a who's who of modern comics. Fresh off reimagining Batman in Detective Comics and crafting the conspiracy-laden mind-bender, The Department of Truth, another Eisner winner, Tynion brought his signature blend of psychological depth and genre savvy to the page. A self-possessed or professed horror nerd raised on 80s slashers, urban legends, and the folklore his immigrant parents shared. Tynion doesn't just write scares, he dissects them. Horror is about the why behind the fear, he told The Hollywood Reporter in a recent interview reflecting on this series' 6-year run. It's the moment you realise the monster under the bed might be the one you've been ignoring in the mirror. In Something is Killing the Children, he turns that insight into a narrative engine where every shadow hides a truth we're too afraid to face. Now, teaming with Tynion is artist Werther Dell'Edera, whose Italian-rooted style infuses the book with a brooding intensity that's equal parts visceral and poetic. Dell'Edera's pages evoke the inky noir of Mike Mignola's Hellboy and the delicate dread of Edward Gorey, with stark shadows that swallow figures whole and expressions that convey volumes of unspoken terror. It's a visual language that doesn't just illustrate the story, it inhales you into it. Together, this duo has crafted a series that sold millions and snagged Eisners, but the numbers only tell part of the tale. The real magic is in how it makes you feel seen in your scariest moments. At its heart, Something is Killing the Children is a tale of hidden horrors invading the everyday, where the line between myth and madness blurs under moonlight. It opens in Archer's Peak, a quintessential Midwestern town where the biggest worry used to be the Friday night football game. But lately, children have been vanishing, lured into the woods or snatched from their beds, only to turn up eviscerated in ways that defy forensics. No animal tracks, no human signatures, just wounds that whisper of something ancient and ravenous. The sheriff's office spins tales of feral wolves or a transient killer, but the surviving kids know the brutal truth. Monsters walk among them, beasts born from forgotten folklore, strigoi-like revenants, skinwalker shapeshifters that prey on purity, visible only to those whose belief hasn't been beaten out of them by adulthood's cynicism. Cue Erica Slaughter, the series' unflinching anti-heroine. At 19, she arrives like a storm cloud in flannel, backpack slung low, bloodstained knives at the ready, glinting in the moonlight, and clutched tight to her chest, a weathered stuffed octopus named Octo that hides a secret far deadlier than any toy. Erica isn't here for glory or therapy. She's a professional exterminator dispatched by the shadowy Order of St. George, a centuries-old network of hunters who treat monster outbreaks like corporate PR crises. Their mandate: contain, conceal, never reveal. But Erica, she believes the children. She sees the monsters too, scarred by a childhood that taught her the cost of doubt. What begins as a solo stakeout in Archer's Peak spirals into a relentless odyssey, infestations that overrun entire towns, forcing desperate sieges and heart-wrenching evacuations, road-weary pursuits across desolate southwestern badlands where doppelgangers steal faces and tempests of fangs devour the horizon, and flashbacks to the Order's labyrinth Chicago headquarters, a gothic crucible of rituals and rivalries that forged Erica into a weapon and left her soul in tatters. Now, without spoiling the twists that make each issue a revelation, the plot masterfully escalates from intimate claustrophobic dread to a globe-spanning war against the unseen. Monsters aren't mindless fodder here. They're cunning, adaptive, drawn to emotional fault lines like grief or isolation. The Order's bureaucracy adds layers of betrayal. Enforcers who view kids as collateral, quarantines that trap innocents with their predators, pushing Erica deeper into rebellion. Allies emerge from the wreckage, wide-eyed witnesses turn reluctant recruits, haunted survivors grappling with PTSD's long shadow. Losses accrue like compound interest, fueling Erica's quiet fury, while rare moments of connection, a shared glance over a campfire, a whispered, "I believe you," offers flickers of humanity in the carnage. Now, no series this potent survives on plot alone, and Something is Killing the Children thrives because its people, flawed, fierce, unforgettable, feel achingly real. Erica Slaughter isn't a Cape Crusader or a quippy survivor. She's a quiet apocalypse in human form. Pale blonde hair framing a face as equal parts porcelain doll and porcelain fracture, green eyes that pierce illusions and hold too many ghosts, trained from girlhood to wield sigils that burn like faith and blades that sing across flesh. Erica moves with the economy of someone who's learned hesitation kills. Yet beneath the stoicism simmers guilt. For every child she saves, there's one she couldn't, their faces etched in her stare. Now, Octo, that deceptively cuddly octopus, is her constant companion and a chilling metaphor. Far from whimsy, it's a makeshift prison for a beast she bound as a kid, a reminder that the hunter's path loops perilously close to the hunted's. Erica's sparse words cut deepest. Monsters don't just devour you, she tells one trembling charge. They make you forget why you're worth the fight. It's lines like these that elevate her from archetype to icon, a young woman reclaiming agency from a system that chews up its own. Her arc, a defiant roar against isolation. Now, what cements Something is Killing the Children as essential isn't the body count, though the gore is gloriously inventive. It's the ideas that fester in the quiet spaces between kills. Foremost is belief. A double-edged blade sharper than any machete. Monsters flourish where adults gaslight children's fears, dismissing make-believe as lies, while real predators, be they mythical or metaphorical, prowl unchecked. It's a searing indictment of how we silence the vulnerable, from playground taunts to institutional horrors, with Erica as the validator who says, "Your truth matters." Critics have called it horror for the Me Too era, and they're not wrong. The cost of being unheard until the screams drown out everything. Now, institutional betrayal cuts even deeper. The Order of St. George, with its holy edicts and ironclad hierarchies, stands in for every power structure. Churches veiling abuse, governments burying scandals, that prioritizes facade over flesh. Their containment protocols quarantine towns like plague zones, sacrificing innocence for the illusion of order. Now, Erica's insurgency isn't rebellion for rebellion's sake. It's a reckoning, echoing the boy's cynicism but laced with Tynion's Catholic upbringing's moral fire. Heroism, the series argues, isn't innate. It's forged in defiance, paid in isolation. Now, woven through it all is trauma's alchemy. These beasts are arbitrary. They're manifestations of collective amnesia, griefs, grotesque doppelgangers that mimic loved ones to strike closer. Erica's backstory, a cataclysm of loss that shattered her world young, mirrors this. Pain tempers her into steel but leaves fissures for doubt, rage, and reluctant tenderness to seep through. It's horror that terrifies, then transforms, scaring you into empathy, into remembering what we've all tried to forget. So, this series itself has just hit 44 issues with a one-shot anniversary special and another one-shot called A Monster Hunter Walks Into a Bar, which was originally serialized in Boom's Hello Darkness horror anthology. Now, that might sound like a lot to catch up on, but I guarantee you, once you pick it up, it won't be enough, and you will plow through it so fast, you'll be left scratching for the next issue. But, as you would expect, one book couldn't contain this beast, and the Slaughterverse was born, with spin-offs that deepen the lore without diluting the core. House of Slaughter plunges into the Order's masked underclass, with an anthology of arcs exploring rival houses and survivor sagas. It's gory, procedural, and blends creepshow vibes with serialized intrigue, and while it's wrapped up its current run, fresh seeds are sprouting for 2026 extensions. Additionally, the 3 books of Slaughter one-shots reveal even more secrets, further expanding the incredible lore of Something is Killing the Children. Now, beyond print, the screen beckons, of course. Netflix adaptation greenlit in 2021 with dark masterminds Baran Bo Odar and Yanti Frizo. They are both at the helm via Boom's first book deal. Got a vital update in August 2025. Now, Tynion confirmed it's very much alive with scripting underway for a faithful 2027 premiere. Now, that all sounds super, super exciting, and I couldn't be more, shaking in my trousers, basically, looking forward to that TV show. Now, as comics grapple with market shakes and endless event tie-ins, Something is Killing the Children stands to fight. Creator-owned, unapologetic, and surging forward. With over 5 million copies in print and a huge fan base, it's more than a recommendation. It's a rite of passage for anyone craving horror that honours its roots while slashing new paths. It's simply one of the best horror comics I've read in decades, and I hope you get the chance to pick it up too and enjoy it as much as I did. Now, that is my sort of dip in the water with Something is Killing the Children, because frankly, there's not enough good books out there that make me feel this way. So every time one comes across my path, I like to share it. So pick it up, definitely pick it up. Let me know what you thought about it. I would love to talk about it. I mean, like I say, we've got the main series, we've got the spin-offs, which in my opinion aren't as good, but still add to the huge lore and the universe they're building with the Slaughterverse. And a TV show to come. So it's all looking good. It's another hit from Tynion, and I can't wait for the next issue, which I think may or may not be out this December. So there we go. Like the video if you can. Hit subscribe too. I'd really appreciate it. And I will catch you in the next one.